Alright. We should be live, I think. Hello, hello, hello. Live, I think. Hello, hello, hello. Alright. And, yeah, so if you didn't see from the title, we're gonna be watching true crime. This is my first stream on my computer, so we'll see how this goes. The video that I got pulled up here is innocent children who are actually psychopathic murderers. Go check out Anna Horror Stories. And yeah, so we'll see if the audio for this is good.
It's only a matter of time before Eric would seriously harm someone else.
How could anybody do such a terrible, terrible thing?
After this, Eric did disgusting and horrifying things to Derek's body.
Alright.
Children are usually some of the most pure and innocent beings on the planet. They are still learning good from bad. It's hard to imagine that a child could truly be evil, much less capable of taking someone's life. But that is what happened with these three cases.
Oh.
The following stories
So
tell the
there's three, I think, I guess. Alright.
tale of three twisted children who actually killed people. We have a tiny redhead bullied into becoming a terror, and a deranged teen willing to use his brute strength to harm the most innocent. And finally, we have the youngest serial killer of all of time. This is the story of Eric Smith, who was 13 years old at the time that he committed
I just want to say, bro got that Jeffrey Dahmer glasses.
this crime.
And
As you
that's
can
all
see,
I
he
gotta
looks
say.
pretty harmless with his red hair, glasses, and freckles. Eric was born in 1980 in New York. He didn't have the easiest of times growing up, due largely in part to the fact that he had a speech impediment. This was
Oh.
something that other kids would bully him for. He lived in a small town where everyone knew everyone. There was basically no crime, and it was known for being the perfect place to raise kids in. Eric's
Wait, where?
parents, it was known for where everyone knew everyone. There was basically no crime, and lived in a small town where everyone knew everyone. There was basically no
Doesn't
crime,
say.
and it was known for being the perfect place to raise kids in. Eric's parents didn't have the best relationship. His mother, Tammy, argued with his father a lot, and eventually his father ended up moving out of the home, leaving Tammy to raise the children alone. Eventually, he would return for a brief time, and Tammy would get pregnant again, but he ultimately would leave once again. He never really had much of a role in Eric's life. Sadly, Eric's little sister would come to know his father a lot more than he ever would. His father would pick up his little sister and take her to do fun things around town, but would essentially ignore Eric, which
Well,
hurt
that's
him
kind of
badly.
just
Eric's
messed up.
mother, Tammy, was diagnosed with epilepsy when she was a girl and was prescribed medication for it. She continued to take this medication even through adulthood and while she was pregnant with Eric. She also took an antidepressant when she was pregnant with him. At the time, there wasn't a lot of information about what medications are safe for pregnancy and which aren't. So she wasn't aware of any sort of side effects these medications may have had on Eric's development. It wouldn't be until years later that it would be determined that her epilepsy medication actually could harm her unborn child. Eric had a tough time in school. He would get frustrated very easily and have outbursts. But at the time, his teachers didn't really think his behavior was that unusual for other kids his age. After all, kids are still learning how to moderate their tempers. Eric also didn't get along well with the other kids, not only for how he talked, but because of how he looked. He was definitely a loner. Eventually, Eric's mom would get remarried to a guy named Ted. Ted essentially adopted Eric and raised
I wonder if one of the things he kind of got bullied for was having orange hair, because like with the speech impediment, they could see him as different, and so with the orange hair too, they could be like, "You're different from us," and make fun of him.
him as his own. Ted was quick to notice that Eric had some behavioral issues and he was not about to put up with them. He was quick to punish him, sometimes severely. Even though Eric had trouble in school, he was still really well liked by some of his neighbors who said he was unlike other little boys his age. They said he would go out of his way to do nice things for them, whether it was mowing the lawn or helping them with the dishes. He also got along very well with his grandparents, Red and Eddie Wilson. Spending time with his grandparents was one of his favorite things to do. He loved them very much and was always showing them affection. He loved getting to go to their house and getting away from everything that was going on at home. Eric's school problems were getting pretty serious. He had been held back 2 years in a row, so while he was technically in the 5th grade, he was 13 years old. His life was going downhill quickly.
I'm guessing part of the getting held back was the fact that he would be bullied, and so like he wasn't really doing his schoolwork, and then got held back for that.
His anger problems were even getting worse, and he would lash out at the kids at school, sometimes kicking, hitting, and screaming. At one point, he even set his own kitchen on fire. It was as if he was filled with rage and
Well, once I mean, it depends on how he set the kitchen on fire. I feel like if you just like accidentally like somehow like there's a candle and he set the house on fire, or if like it was like he kind of planned to actually set it on fire. If he kind of planned to set it on fire, I feel like that's like you should have looked into it kind of right then and there. But if it was kind of like a candle and like accidentally set the fire, I could see how it could have gone on for longer.
had no way of releasing it. The bullying was also getting worse and worse. Kids would absolutely terrorize him. Eric's sister would later say that there was one incident that occurred on the bus where some kids took Eric's backpack from him, opened, and shook out all the contents onto the floor. They then forced him to pick it all back up while everyone watched and made fun of him.
I mean, that's just the type of stuff you hear in, like, you see in a goddamn movie. I mean, like, I feel like that doesn't happen actually that much for the most part.
Bullying was constant.
But also, I guess it was the 1980s. I was kind of thinking of right now. I feel like that doesn't really happen. The bullying is more mental, either that or more physical.
People would hit him, break his glasses, slap his face, and hurt him in any way imaginable. His days were brutal from start to finish. By the time he got home from school, he would be angry and depressed. What friends Eric did have, he would end up losing. One kid who was the same age as Eric had a sleepover with him one night. This kid would wake up in the middle of the night to a red, hot pain. When he opened his eyes, he would find Eric standing over him, burning his nose with a cigarette.
I mean, to be fair, that's kind of why he has no friends. I mean, the way he's acting, throwing tantrums and whatnot. So then he doesn't have friends, so then he throws a tantrum and loses the friends he does have, and it's kind of just like a cycle.
It was clear that it was only a matter of time before Eric would seriously harm someone else. He liked preying on those more vulnerable than him, including animals. Eric's life would change forever on August 2nd of 1993. There was a sweet little boy named Derek Robbie who was only 4 years old. He was absolutely adorable with blonde hair and blue eyes. He was an adventurous and funny child and was beloved by his parents, Dale and Doreen. Derek was the oldest child and he absolutely adored his little brother, who he would shower with hugs and kisses. On the summer that this all went down, Derek was attending a summer day camp. On one particular day, Derek's baby brother was extra fussy, and Derek told his mother that he would be okay getting to the day camp on his own. His mom had never let him go alone before, but she was tired and stressed, and probably thought that since this was such a small, safe town, he would be okay, so she agreed. This would be a decision that she would
I mean, even if it's a small and safe town, I mean, there could always be just one person that's creeping. Something can happen.
regret for the rest of her life. Feeling excited and independent, little Derek left home and began making his way to the camp. While he was walking, Eric happened to pass by while on his bike. Eric had been at the same camp that Derek was on his way towards, but was kicked out due to bad behavior. He was angry and looking for someone to take his rage out on. That's when he saw adorable little Derek walking alone and completely defenseless. Eric started to talk to Derek, basically pretending to be his friend. After some convincing, he talked Derek into following him into the woods to play. Derek, somewhat impressionable and probably
I mean, I don't know if they said, but I'm just wondering how old Derek is. I mean, if Derek is like 13 to 14, I feel like by then you kind of know. Well, I mean, you could still be like kind of pressured into it, so.
eager to play with an older kid, went willingly with Eric into the woods, thinking he was in for a good time. Unfortunately, he would never come out of the woods alive. Once Eric got Derek into the woods, he strangled the little boy to death. As if that was not enough, he then grabbed a giant 25-pound rock and dropped it on the child's head. After this,
But what was like Eric doing there? Was it the fact that he just got kicked out, and so he decided to bring the kid? I mean, like, it's kind of just like, I understand what led Eric to it was the fact that he was being bullied, and he didn't really have any friends and had like hatred. But I mean, like, there's definitely other ways to deal with it. But I mean, he was like 13, so he obviously didn't know how to like deal with that kind of stuff.
Eric did disgusting and horrifying things to Derek's body, including mutilating him. He opened up the little boy's lunch bag and used the items inside to even further dehumanize the child, including sprinkling a Kool-Aid packet into his cuts. Back at home, Derek's mother, Doreen, was having a motherly instinct moment. She had this feeling deep in her gut that she shouldn't have let her little boy leave on his own. She decided she needed to go out and make sure that her son made it to camp. When she got there, she was informed that he never arrived. Now, in a panic, Doreen called the police. Just like that, a massive investigation began in the community. Everyone in town knew Derek and his family, so this was personal to them. Everyone came out to search for the little boy. Even Eric.
I mean, it helps that it's a small town because everybody kind of just knows everybody. And so, like, once the word gets out, everybody is willing to help.
Tended to search. Unfortunately, Derek's body would later be found in the woods, and the entire town was turned upside down. Because Eric had admitted to someone that he saw Derek around the time that he was thought to go missing, police believed that he could know a little bit more than he was letting on. But they certainly didn't think that he did anything to Derek. They believed they were looking for an adult. The whole town was rattled by what happened to Derek, including Eric's own family.
Everybody, including myself, was an adult. How could anybody do such a terrible, terrible thing?
Everyone.
I mean, like, yeah, I mean, who would expect a kid to, like, attack another kid? But Derek's mom, I feel like should have known something was kind of going on.
Everyone knew that there was a possibility that the person who killed Derek was someone that they all knew, that was just existing in the community. Could
Okay,
it be
so
someone
is
they
it
passed
Derek
in the
or
grocery
Eric?
store? Or just walking down the street? Meanwhile, Eric's mother Tammy is also having a motherly instinct moment. For some reason, she just had a hunch that Eric knew more than he was letting on
Okay, so it's Eric that's the psycho one. Alright. Kind of mixed it up right there.
about Derek's murder. She didn't think that he did it, but she did think that he had seen who did it and was just too afraid to say anything. So a couple of days went by and she ended up confronting her son about it. What he said to her was the last thing she could have ever expected, and it would change her life forever. Eric turned to her, looked her dead in the eyes, and said, "I did it." Tammy had a full-on meltdown.
I mean that kid's just crazy, honestly. I mean, like, why would you do something bad and then you tell him? Like, that's kind of just weird. I feel like I don't know why you would be doing that.
She began
But I mean, at least they found who it was, right? Because it could have went on for longer.
screaming and crying and asking Eric why he would do such a thing. He started crying and just kept saying, "I don't know, I don't know." Eventually, Tammy took her own son down to the station where he was arrested.
I was there when my grandson confessed. And it was terrible.
Eric's grandpa tried to make sense of what he had done.
I asked him why he did it. His words, almost verbatim, were, "I don't know. I just saw this kid, this blonde kid, and I wanted to hurt him."
As an adult, Eric looked back and reflected upon what he did and seemed to be disgusted with himself.
I got him by himself and I shot him. I hit him over the head with a rock numerous times and poured Kool-Aid on him. And I became the bully that I hated in school. I became the individual who dished out pain. They thought that I knew who did it, or I'd seen who had done it. But the person they were looking for is me. I couldn't hold it in anymore.
When police announced that they had the killer and they had confessed, the media was swarming everywhere to try to get a glance of whoever this sick man was. A tiny redhead boy with freckles and glasses, wearing a bright yellow shirt, was probably the last thing that they expected. The entire nation was shocked. Nobody could understand how anybody, much less a child, could actually do something like this. The case went to trial, and the defense tried to say that the epilepsy medication that Eric's mom had been taking while pregnant with him and the intense bullying he experienced played into why he did what he did. But
I mean, I feel like I don't know so much about the epilepsy medicine could have done anything, but the bullying, whatnot, that could have definitely played a part into it.
the jury didn't buy it. They were particularly struck by something Eric had said in his confession. He did what he did because he saw someone weaker than him and wanted to hurt him. He liked the fact that Derek was defenseless. It was unbelievable that a child could have such a twisted and deranged desire. Ultimately, Eric was found guilty.
I mean, he was defenseless, and therefore just finding anybody weaker than him kind of probably just made him feel better about himself in a way.
So you find the defendant guilty of murder in the second degree?
Yes,
Is that unanimous?
yes.
Sobbing can be heard in the courtroom as the verdict is read, but young Eric keeps a straight face. He was sentenced to 9 years to life in prison.
I mean,
Derek's
what is he, 13? Gonna get out when he's 22. Yeah, 22. So I mean, like, not that long. I mean, it is pretty long, but like, what is it? Most, like, half of it, a little less than half of it's gonna be in juvie, right? So
His parents were, of course, devastated and confused by the sentence. They didn't believe that Eric should ever be released from prison, especially after only 9 years. But the court believed that because Eric was so young, that he could change and become a better person. So Eric gets to prison, and every 2 years he has a parole hearing. And every 2 years, Derek's grieving family has to come forward and try to convince the court not to release Eric. He was denied parole 10 times in a row. After spending 28 years behind bars, Eric was granted parole at the age of 43. He was
so he was supposed to spend 9, but he ended up spending 28.
28 years behind bars, Eric was granted parole at the age of 43. He was ultimately released on February 1st of 2022. His release was a hard pill to swallow for Derek's parents, still grieving the loss of their little boy.
I understand why, after so many years, they decided to give him a chance. And that's fine, you know, for him and his family.
Derek's parents spent so many years trying to keep Eric in jail for killing their son. That journey is now over.
You know, he's been released, but in a way, so have we. No more parole. I can get on with...
Yeah, I mean, like, having to go back, I think it was every 2 years. Kind of just like, how are you able to move on from that? Because you're just going to be remembering it every 2 years. So, I mean, there's that. And also, I feel like, I don't know, like, the full thing of parole. Let's see here. Let's see. I mean, I feel like they gotta be, like, on some sort of list, right? Like, kind of kept a close eye on. Like, if something happens where he's living, he'd be kind of like the first to be looked at.
our lives. Now the true healing can begin.
As part of the healing process, Derek's parents do their best to only focus on the happy, positive memories that they have with their son and their friends and family who help them to keep Derek's memory alive.
August 2nd, the day we lost him. We always try to go do something fun. White ice cream with sprinkles. That's what Derek called vanilla, so we try to do
Wherever we are, we have to go we have to go find ice cream.
I mean, the thing with that, though, like I was saying, when you kind of make it a thing to, like, do it every time that on the date that happened, you're never gonna forget about it. You're never gonna, like, you could get better, but, like, you're never gonna get to the, like, I feel like it's gonna be harder to pass on, because you're just gonna be remembering it every year.
even though it's sad, it's happy.
I mean, yeah, you kind of have to look at the good. I think this is on
It's
to
hard
the
to
next
imagine
person.
spending almost all your teen years, as well as the rest of your life, in prison. You would miss out on so much in life. You're taken away from your family and friends. You'll never drive a car, go to prom, get a job, or get a chance to get married and start a family of your own. You'll essentially have lost your entire future. If you break the law, you must face the consequences. And that was true for a boy named Lionel Tate. Lionel's freedom and life as he knew it ended when he was just 14 years old in 2001. He became the youngest person to ever get sentenced to life in prison. While this punishment might seem extremely harsh, because of what he did, it was definitely deserved. Lionel's horrific crime took place on July 28th of 1999 in an area of Florida called Pembroke Park. Lionel was at home and his mother Kathleen was in the kitchen making a meal for him and a child she was babysitting. The child was a 6-year-old little girl named Tiffany Unick. Tiffany was the daughter of one of Kathleen's best friends, and her mother had asked if Kathleen could watch her for the evening. Kathleen and Tiffany's mother were like family and had grown up together in Jamaica before coming over to the United States. Deweese, Tiffany's mom, was completely comfortable leaving her daughter in Kathleen's hands. After Kathleen finished cooking and the three of them ate dinner, she was feeling pretty tired, so she decided to go up to bed. She left Lionel and Tiffany downstairs watching television. Later that night, Kathleen heard Lionel eat dinner. She was feeling pretty tired, so she decided to go up to bed. She left Lionel and Tiffany downstairs.
So, I mean, I guess she was just taking a nap. I thought she was, like, going to bed and just leaving them. I feel like you should have put them to bed, but...
watching television. Later that night, Kathleen heard some noise coming from the downstairs, and she figured the kids were just playing around, so she shouted down for them to quiet down. Not going downstairs to investigate what was really going on would be something that Kathleen would regret for the rest of her life. Not long after Kathleen had heard the noise from downstairs, Lionel came into her room and woke her up. He told her that he and Tiffany had been playing wrestling when all of a sudden she stopped breathing. Kathleen is of course panicked and in a state of disbelief. The story that Lionel would later tell was that he and Tiffany had been watching a wrestling show on television and decided to try out some of the professional moves. It was when he had put Tiffany into a headlock that she hit her head on the side of the table. The thought of Tiffany and Lionel even wrestling by itself is concerning due to the huge weight difference between the two of them.
Whoa, they're like... Bro was just like... Let me put my phone on silent real quick. Bruh. Alright, 6 years old though, that's kinda just crazy. I feel like the 6-year-old wouldn't be inclined to, you know, wrestle.
Tiffany was only 48 pounds when Lionel weighed close to 170. He would easily be
More than
able to
triple,
overpower
bro.
her. Lionel told his mother that after Tiffany hit her head, that she was sobbing uncontrollably. He didn't want to mess with her, so he just continued watching television. By the time he had suspected something was wrong and went to get his mother, Tiffany had already died. Of course, there were so many questions.
I mean, that doesn't... It's like... He's kind of playing it off as an accident, but it didn't really sound that much like an accident. It kind of sounds like he could have done it on purpose.
Questions associated with this case. Did Lionel not know that the wrestling moves he was doing were dangerous? Did he not consider how much bigger he was than Tiffany? Had he meant to hurt her, or was this all a
I mean, at like 14, I feel like that's like when you kind of start to realize that like you can't be doing that.
tragic accident? As investigators begin to look into Tiffany's manner of death, they are shocked to see how horrifically her body was injured. It looked as if she had been hit by a car and clearly suffered tremendously prior to her death. She had been beaten barbarically and had a cracked skull, broken rib, swollen brain, and a sliced liver, and was completely covered in bruises. It was believed that her beating had lasted for several minutes before her death. This was clearly no accident.
Yeah, I mean, there's a difference between play wrestling and straight up beating the person up.
You see, Lionel had a history with violence and aggression. He
Well,
was
there
a
you go.
known bully at school and had been suspended countless times. It wasn't just that he didn't get along with other kids, he would also engage in criminal behavior and was even caught stealing. This was, of course, a bad reflection on Kathleen. Ultimately, Lionel would be arrested for Tiffany's murder and faced trial in 2011. The trial was obviously horrific, as the killer was so young and Tiffany had just been a defenseless child. One of the most disturbing aspects of the trial was when a video was shown to the court of Lionel reenacting what he did to Tiffany to a therapist. Tiffany's mom couldn't help but break down in tears when she watched it. The defense tried to tell the court that Lionel was struggling with a wrestling addiction, but the prosecution didn't buy it.
Yeah,
I'm
no, I wouldn't buy
concerned
that
if the
either.
wrestling defense is allowed, this trial won't be about defendant Lionel Tate's actions. Ken was also very concerned that Lionel's defense was trying to say that Lionel had a mental health issues, as if that somehow excused what he did.
I mean, it seems like he does have some mental issues. I mean, but I mean, still, lock him up because he has mental issues about, psychotic, killing.
They also tried to say that Lionel didn't kill Tiffany, he just beat her, and it was injury.
It's not funny, but I mean, that's still better. You're still beating up someone that is, half your age and not even half your weight.
That she died of, as crazy as it sounds. A psychiatrist on the defense team claimed that Lionel had become obsessed with wrestling because of how many Hollywood movies there were at the time depicting wrestlers as cool and powerful. He also claimed that Lionel simply never considered the fact that he was so much bigger than his opponent. They even said that Lionel was not emotional.
I mean, that's possible, but you still, you were a bully, and, so you kind of already beat up kids, so I feel like you kind of knew your size.
Mature yet, and had no idea that he had been hurting Tiffany.
I mean, that's kind of hard to believe.
Based upon just how severe the little girl's injuries were, this was pretty hard to believe. But the courts did end up making an IQ test on Lionel and found out.
I mean, can't you just, fake the IQ test? I mean, can't you just get the answers wrong? Oh, and say you have a low IQ. I don't know exactly if it works like that,
That
but
his IQ was strangely very below average. Was it possible that he was so unintelligent and unaware that he truly didn't think what he was doing would harm Tiffany?
no,
Lionel claimed that
I believe he knew what he was doing.
when he initially realized that Tiffany was hurt, he went to get some ice for her head. But when he got back, she ran to the bathroom to throw up. This is a likely sign that she was already suffering from a concussion. He also heard her making strange noises, like she was struggling, but he just thought that she was being dramatic or messing with him, so he failed to call for help right away. When Lionel first
I mean, when she threw up, I feel like that's when you should have got the parent,
told his mother about Tiffany's condition that fateful night, Kathleen rushed downstairs as fast as she could and tried to administer CPR, but it was too late, and the little girl would soon be pronounced dead at the hospital. Lionel told his legal team that he liked Tiffany and had no reason to hurt her. They believed him, but the prosecution team certainly did not. There had to be malice involved for Tiffany to have been beaten so horrifically. If Lionel didn't already look totally guilty, the fact that he frequently changed up the details of his story of what happened.
I mean, that's the one thing, though, is, This is like one of the things that people that did a crime get messed up is they don't like stick to a story. I feel like if I was to do anything, I'd kind of make up like a story beforehand and remember it so I don't like mix it up.
Happened that night made his case look even worse. Desperate to bring him down, the prosecution ended up coming up with a plea deal that they offered him. They wanted him to admit that he knew his actions could lead to Tiffany's death, but that he didn't intend to kill her. The charge would be second-degree homicide, and he would only spend around 3 years in prison. Considering the type
That's
of
not
situation
much.
that Lionel was in and the possibility of him actually spending the rest of his life in jail, this deal must have looked pretty sweet.
Yeah, I mean 3 years. I feel like that's like insanely like. That's like definitely not enough, but I feel like that's not where this is going.
But strangely enough, Lionel's mother and the prosecution team urged Lionel not to take it. They thought that they could still prove Lionel's innocence. Kathleen stood by her son and said that what happened was simply no more than an accident. This must have felt like the biggest
I would have taken the 3 years, honestly.
betrayal to Tiffany's mother, Kathleen's former best friend. Lionel's trial shocked the entire nation, and everyone waited in anticipation to find out what the jury was going to decide. The jury didn't come up with a conclusion right away. They actually ended up deliberating for 2 full weeks before finally finding Lionel guilty of first-degree murder. He would be sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. He could be seen wiping away tears as he was then taken away to spend the rest of his life behind bars. Despite what horrific things that Lionel did to poor, innocent little Tiffany, people actually believed that he deserved the second chance. And shockingly, he got one.
I was gonna say I feel like life in prison. I mean he's like 14. There is a possibility that he didn't know what was going on. So there's that. I just don't like maybe like just not life. I mean like 20 years something, just not life, I feel like.
He had only been in jail for 3 years when his case was revisited in 2003. His defense team ended up having him take the old plea deal instead of pleading guilty to the second-degree homicide. This would result in him spending no more than 4 years in prison. Because he had already served 3 years, he was able to get released and spend only a year on house arrest. Lionel got a taste at freedom, but not completely. He would have to wear an ankle bracelet and would be on probation. It didn't take him long to get in trouble once again when he was found with a knife. Due to the terms of probation, he wasn't allowed weapons like this. His probation was extended from 10 years to 15. He was also told that if he messed up again, he would be back in prison. Lionel's freedom
I mean like when they say he can't have like any weapons, I mean can he not even have like a kitchen knife to like make food or like
was not long lasting, and he got in trouble yet again in 2005. He was charged with burglary with battery and was even found to have been in possession of a firearm, a very serious violation of his parole. This time the judge wouldn't take it easy on him and told him, "Lionel Tate, you are out of second chances." Lionel was then sentenced to 10 years in prison for the burglary and battery, to be served alongside with 30 more years for violating his probation. Today, Lionel is 35 years old, and he remains behind bars.
when did this come out? A year ago. I mean, when he had the second chance, he should have took it, honestly. Alright, let's see how young this person is.
It's hard to imagine a child killing someone, and even harder to imagine a child killing at just 7 or 8 years old. But
7 or
that's
8?
the case in this story. This case is set in a small village in India called Mashari. The year was 2006. This is a very poor village where most people were just barely scraping by and managing to keep food on the table for them and their families. The children of the village would play outside in the streets with their friends and extended family members. One of the families that lived in this village was the Sada family. One day, a member of the Sada family, a little 6-year-old girl, went missing. While those that lived in the village were less likely to allow their children to play outside, they didn't really pry that much into what happened to that little girl due to not wanting to offend them while they were in their state of grief. As if this wasn't strange enough, it wasn't long before another child would be born into the Sada family, only for the infant to also go missing. At this point, the village people are thinking that something strange is going on, but they keep it to themselves. By 2007, yet another child had gone missing, but this one was not from the Sada family. It was a 6-month-old baby that had been dropped off by her mother at a local primary school. Even though the child had been supposedly supervised the whole time, someone had managed to sneak out with her. At this point, the police are called and they quickly arrive to the village to investigate. They are approached by a tiny 8-year-old boy who's
I mean, I feel like they should have been called, like, at least when the second child went missing from the same family. Like, whether or not somebody took the child, I feel like you should look into the parents. Like, maybe the parents could have been doing something.
very excited to tell them that he knows what happened to the baby because he killed her. This little boy was Amardeep Sada. At first, the police think that this is just a child with a big imagination, but the more they talk to him, the more they are convinced that the child could actually be a killer. He even ends up leading them to where they find the missing child's dead body. They take Amardeep down to the police station for further questioning. The police were disturbed to see that the child had a huge smile on his face while he described how he had horrifically killed a child. It was as if he didn't.
Who's the good parents? Like, I feel like this kid's just a tiny bit too crazy for the parents to have done nothing to him. Like, there's just no way this kid was treated correctly, I feel like.
Know or understand that he had done anything wrong. He was clearly very deranged. She was sleeping in the school. I took her a little away and killed her with a stone and buried her, he told them at one point. Amardeep was from a poor family, and his father did difficult physical labor to provide for his children. Even though they were barely getting by, his mother still wanted and planned to have more children. This child was known.
That's their problem. When you're already financially struggling and you try to have more kids, like, come on now.
For being bad, and even often terrorizing the other kids in the village. As it would turn out, Amardeep's parents actually knew that he had committed murder twice before.
And they didn't say anything? I feel like the parents should be an accomplice of the crime.
And knew who the victims were as they were a part of his own family. While they claimed to have punished their child for what he did, they didn't end up reporting his crime.
Ah, yes, he killed a person, so we're gonna ground him for a week. Like that's gonna teach him a lesson. He literally killed someone.
And ultimately protected him from going to jail. They considered it a family secret. By the time that Amardeep was killed for a third time, they could no longer keep it a secret, as this infant was not a member of their family. It was hard for police to try to piece together how Amardeep could have done these terrible things. For one thing, he never had.
I mean, for one thing, the parents let it slide twice. That's the problem there.
Any motive. Nor did he ever watch a television show or get exposed to any media that would have taught him to kill. He was clear.
I mean, it's not always the media that encourages it. Bro was just mentally ill. Like,
clearly just mentally off. Due to the law of India, a child as young as Amardeep could not be sentenced to death or prison. They can, however, be detained until they are 18 years old. Amardeep was released upon the day of his 18th birthday. Despite the horrible crimes that he committed, he's now in his 20s. Were these sentences fair, or would you have
Okay, first one. The first sentence. Derek, I believe his name was. I'd say that was fair. Lioness, or whatever his name was. I'd say. Well, he had the chances to take the 4 years and the 3 years, and well, he did take the 4 years, but then he got caught with the weapon. So I mean, it was kind of like the life in prison. I feel like was over, but he also had 2 chances. So this dude, I feel like he should have been the one who got life.
wished they were different? Let us know in the comments.
I mean, what are these comments saying? Yeah, let me just let you know in the comments real quick. Well, that was interesting. Go check out and horror stories. We could try to find another video real quick. Let's see here. Whoopsies. Just hit my mic. I would ask what you guys think, but you know, not really people to ask, so. I mean, I think I've seen a bit of this. Let's see here.
I'm Chris Hansen, right now on Crime Watch Daily from here in New York. A man is viciously stabbed 31 times, and then comes the final insult. His killer smugly poses for a selfie, a bloody knife still in her hand.
She looked so proud of what she had done. I just couldn't believe.
Let's look at some teens. Let's see here. Do not take that out of context either. This is not what I meant. I meant let's look at like some teenage crime, true crime.
Dude, this is a horrible gaming experience. How do you live like this?
I don't know, Linus.
Get out
I
of
don't have
here,
time to
Ed.
research.
I just had a 12-year-old boy show up here at my front door asking for help. And he's said he just came from a neighbor's house, and we know there's been problems at this neighbor's house. He's emaciated, he's got tape around his legs, he's hungry, and he's thirsty.
You won't believe this ironic...
Everybody's already watched that. An hour. Trying to find like another 30-minute one.
A freak event
Oh my God, my brother's dead. I had him in a shank.
becomes a years-long search for a killer.
We didn't even see it coming. We had let a wolf into our family and not even known it.
Hi there, everybody. I'm Jesse Weber, and welcome to Prime Crime. This is where we break down the most high-profile and memorable true crime cases.
Have been fully or significantly solved, and we're going to begin by looking at Forrest Fenn's treasure, which finally came to a full conclusion back in June 2020. Wright and Shane investigated the mystery 2 years prior in September 2018, during which they explained that world-renowned treasure collector Forrest Fenn had 2008, a 16-year-old girl from California by the name of Katie Wayne would upload two unassuming video blogs titled For Ant from Boxy and For Addie from Boxy to her personal YouTube channel, Boxy Babe.
My name is Boxy. Most of you know.
The videos were made with the goal of simply saying hello to two people she had been playing online games with. However, unbeknownst to her at the time, they would simultaneously make her one of the most recognizable faces in internet history. But this recognizability would be somewhat short-lived, as Boxy would become progressively less active on social media until June 2017, when she would post her final video.
Dude, this is a horrible gaming experience. How do you live like this?
I don't know, Linus. I don't have time to research up.
Completely disappear off YouTube. Jay Alexander put it well under one of Boxy's videos. It's so sad seeing YouTubers disappear. Is this how it ends? Boxy
Alright. So we got this pulled up. Sure you guys have heard of Sunny V2, but if you haven't, go check him out. He's pretty good. I guess we're gonna be watching one of his older ones. Let's see here. Insane situation. So we're gonna be watching What Happened to Boxy by Sunny V2. Like I said, if you don't know who that is, go check him out.
His accidental accumulation of fame began in 2008 with nothing but an internet forum. Gaia Online was its name, an anime-themed role-playing website where you could build a virtual avatar, buy things from shops, and even On the 3rd of January 2008, a 16-year-old girl from California by the name of Katie Wayne would upload 2 unassuming video blogs titled 4Ant from Boxy and 4Addy from Boxy to her personal YouTube channel, Boxy Babe.
My name is Boxy. Most of you know.
The videos were made with the goal of simply saying hello to 2 people she had been playing online games with. However, unbeknownst to her at the time, they would simultaneously make her one of the most recognizable faces in internet history. But this recognizability would be somewhat short-lived, as Boxy would become progressively less active on social media until June 2017, when she would post her final video and completely disappear off YouTube. Jay Alexander put it well under one of Boxy's videos. "It's so sad seeing YouTubers disappear. Is this how it ends?" Boxy's accidental accumulation of fame began in 2008 with nothing but an internet forum. Gaia Online was its name. An anime-themed role-playing website where you could build a virtual avatar, buy things from shops, and even potentially meet friends in the process. Katie Wayne, or Boxy as she was known in Gaia Online, would meet 2 seemingly insignificant individuals on the forum by the name of Admirable Awesome and Ant. And after
I mean, pretty normal. I mean, you play a game, you meet some people.
conversing with them on the forum for some time, she decided she will make each of them a personal video message. "Oh hey guys, I didn't see you there. I was too busy making audio video. I love you guys. I'ma go get dressed and showered and try to look super pretty and take pictures. I'll get Ant's video done today for sure. KK bye, please PM me."
Bro, the way... What is this typing? I didn't see you, video.
Video. I love you guys. I'ma go get dressed and showered and try to look super pretty and take pictures. I'll get Ant's video done today for sure.
And pictures, for sure.
KK bye, please PM me. These videos would appear on her YouTube channel in the few days following.
I decided that I was going to make videos for people, and the first one was for my friend Admiral Awesome, and now this
I just don't like the way she's like acting over
one
here.
is for Ant.
And throughout the 2 videos, Boxy displayed a personality that can only be described as bizarre. Upbeat with strange ramblings, mannerisms, and when mixed with her borderline emo physical appearance, the video stood out as incredibly unique. However, as you might assume from what we've discussed, the intention was never for anyone besides Ant and Addy to watch these videos, and that's how it would remain for the entire year of 2008, until something strange would happen. The weird parts of the internet got a hold of the videos. In the 11 months between January and December of 2008, Boxy's videos were viewed by less than 20,000 people. And as time progressed, there was nothing that might have indicated that her viewership would begin to dramatically increase.
I mean, does he show? Does he, show what, does he show the full video? If not, we'll have to check it out at the end of this.
However, on the 27th of December 2008, the video would be anonymously embedded onto another forum by the name of IamBored.com with the goal of sharing her bizarre and borderline cringy personality. Users on IamBored.com would share the sentiment that Boxy Babe was an absolute nutbag, stating, "What the drat? This is the worst dratting video I've ever seen on this site. Holy poo. In the entire 4 to 5 years I've been on here, this has got to be the worst thing I have ever seen. It has no..."
Bro took it personally, honestly. I don't know what she did to him, but he did not like it.
No point. Jesus Christ, this is terrible. She sounds like she has multiple personalities. I think I finally have hearing aids. After the 2 videos were posted to the IamBored.com forum, the ratings over on YouTube would drop dramatically to between 2 and 2.5 stars each, displaying the negative attitude that forum users had towards Boxy's personality. Following this, Boxy's 2 innocuous video shoutouts would be shared to 4chan's B forum, embedded in a "You Rage You Lose" thread, challenging users to watch the full video without getting annoyed. Would Boxy Boxy once again receive an absolute hiding from 4chan with regards to her annoying personality? Well, yes, but at the same time, no. As this time around, many users actually shared a rather different opinion. I'm 23 and I would marry her anytime. I would divorce my beautiful 26-year-old wife so I could marry Boxy. I need to find me a Boxy.
But they're just fun. They're just simps. I mean, I don't know what's going on through their head, but like, I mean, one dude's married. Crazy.
Numerous individuals over on 4chan began to take a liking to Boxy for her attractive appearance and cute personality, ultimately leading to numerous questions.
Cute? Bro, that personality was just annoying. I mean, there's no other way to describe it.
Surrounding who this girl actually was. Users began to repost her face all over the site, hoping that someone might know who she actually was. As she became more and more recognizable on the website, the demand for finding out who she was became greater and greater. She would eventually be crowned the Queen of B, and it seems like a large majority of 4chan had a bit of an internet crush on her. My dearest grandchild, let me tell you a story of the first simp queen of the internet. Children simp over Belle Delphine, men simp over Boxy. This woman had a rally of simps before the term simp even was made. But while most found her to be cute, there was still the fair share of forum users who found her to be annoying and childish. Additionally, many were getting annoyed that
me, right here. Childish.
they couldn't go anywhere on the beloved forums without seeing Boxy's face, and a strange tribal type war broke out between those who loved Boxy and those who hated her. The event would eventually come to be known as the 4chan Civil War of 2009. As the craziness escalated, it was clear that something needed to be done. Approximately a week and a half into the Boxy explosion on both iamboard.com and 4chan, Boxy herself would address the public, uploading a YouTube video on the 9th of January 2009 titled For Everyone from Boxy.
My name is Boxy, and it's been a while since I made a new video, so I decided that because of recent...
Bro, what is this? Bro. That is just crazy. Like, I wonder if it's like actually her personality or like something. I mean, like, there has to be something. Hold up. Alright, so eventually, probably in this stream, we're gonna be possibly playing with my friend. But first, we gotta finish this video here.
recent events that I could make a new video.
This video addressed some of the insane rumors spreading throughout the various forums.
I don't do drugs. No, I know that you all think that I do drugs, but I don't.
And once again displayed.
Alright, so eventually, probably in this stream, they're gonna be. There's centipedes bigger than a football. I think it's time to move. Already. It's time to move. What are you in Australia? In Australia, bro? You gotta get out. I'm scared of a measly like baby spider. I ain't dealing with full-on earwicks, bro. Earwicks are just kill on sight. Alright.
Boxy with her over-the-top insane at the various forums.
I don't do drugs. No, I know that you all think that I do drugs, but I don't.
And once again,
I don't know if I believe her. I mean, honestly, she might be on some.
Displayed Boxy with her over-the-top insane rambling type personality. 4chan was covered with the video from the second it was posted to YouTube, and after 12 hours it had racked up a whopping 70,000 views. Within 24 hours it had racked up 300,000 views, and after a week the video had gained a massive 1.2 million views, an incredible number for YouTube in early 2009. The Boxy Babe channel had gained 24,000 1,000 subscribers from the video, which made it the most subscribed channel for the month of January 2009. Overall, Boxy had gone from a relative nobody in mid-December 2008 to an online celebrity by mid-January 2009, only 30 days later. However, for many,
it's her horrible personality that kind of built everything.
What they had learnt about Boxy so far was simply not enough. She had addressed both her fans and haters with this third video, but the viewers still wanted to know more about the identity of the girl behind the Boxy channel. For this reason, a vigilante group of 4chaners would launch a creepy stalker project by the name of Operation Valkyrie. The goal was to hack Boxy's YouTube, Facebook, PhotoBucket, Gaia Online and MySpace page and identify the individual behind the channel. A few insignificant photos were found. However, as a whole, the operation was somewhat of a failure. That would be until weeks later, when another group of around 11 members who called themselves the Center for Boxy Control and Restriction, or CBCR, would attempt to dox Boxy once again. After some further searching, members of the group would find an old video from 2006, posted by an individual resembling Boxy, on a channel held under the name of...
Bro, all she did was like... I mean, don't get me wrong, her personality was god awful. Like, she's just trying too much, but like, full on doxing her is kind of crazy.
Satisfaction.
I'm gonna try to climb that fence over there, and it's kind of dark, so I don't think you can see it.
By comparing both the face and...
What's one of them? Bro, what? I'm watching a person like this right now. That's literally what I'm like reacting to. Oh. 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 Trying to be like all anime like. That's kind of just sad.
Voice of the girl in the video, they quickly realized that this was Boxy, who had identified herself as a girl named Katie.
Hi, my name is Katie.
And also included her nationality.
I'm Greek, dude. I know, it freaked me out too.
The channel that...
So it seems like she don't actually act like that, thankfully. I mean, like, if she actually acted like that, I feel like... I'm not saying something should have happened to her, but...
that the video was posted on was linked to a MySpace page stating that Boxy was 16 years old and was from California. Throughout the process, a MySpace page stating that Boxy was 16 years old and was from California. Throughout the process, the 11 members were also able to crack Boxy's password to her YouTube channel, and coming from a point of hate, would private the 3 Boxy videos, replacing them with a single video titled Dear Boxy, stating that if she were to upload any more videos, they would leak her personal information to the internet. The event would prompt even news outlets to get involved, publishing stories such as Voxy Boxy's Proxy War, stating one side determined to marry her.
What? 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 Nice. Actually, do you mean butterfly knife? I know. I was just messing with you. Alright. Bro, I'm almost done with this video, alright?
Her and the other to wipe her out. Eventually, the hackers of her YouTube channel became self-aware of the damage being done to the girl and would give the channel back to Boxy, stating that her videos were annoying and affecting many people throughout the internet. However, she definitely doesn't deserve to have her life ruined.
Exactly. I mean, honestly, she might be annoying, but full-on doxing her is a little too much, I feel like.
Boxy now had her channel back and was free to make videos once again, but her motive for doing so was now in question, as the whole thing had certainly warned Boxy about the dangers of having a public persona. Possibly as a result of this realization, Boxy would then disappear completely. In March 2010, Burlesque would rank her iconic video at number 104 on its list of 100 most iconic internet videos. However, Boxy would never discuss such a ranking. Forums continued dedicated to their love for Boxy, but Katie herself would never acknowledge any of them. It seemed as though Boxy Babe had completely disappeared, leaving many people asking what had happened to Boxy.
She got kidnapped.
Well, after 2 years, that question would finally be answered. During her break, while keeping a relatively low profile, Boxy had created a second channel by the name of A New Hope in late 2010. She would then upload an update video titled Things Are About to Get Intense in January 2011.
You're gonna make a new video? And I was like, maybe, maybe not, who knows, that's the fun.
Approximately 2 years after the iconic 4chan war that had made her so famous in the first place. Included in this update video were multiple motives for why Boxy had disappeared initially, citing unnecessary hate as one of the main reasons.
People would just be saying like these really mean, awful things about me, and I was like, oh. And I didn't really want to be there because I felt really...
See, this kind of seems like more of her actual personality, I feel like.
You know, hated.
Regardless of the hate, Katie would return to the Boxy Babe channel with a video titled Force Svetlana from Boxy, approximately 2.5 years after her initial explosion.
Okay, hi, my name is Boxy, and I was just surfing on the internet.
However, the issue was that after 2.5 years, Boxy's meme status had declined dramatically and her videos would get fewer and fewer views. Additionally, much of Boxy's magic was embedded in the fact that she was kind of mysterious and people always wanted to know more about her. So as she...
Yeah, it's kind of like the whole thing of like, when your YouTube channel is kind of just based off hiding your face, once you kind of like do a face reveal, it could significantly affect your channel in a way of people will stop watching because all your channel was based off of was your face being hidden.
She uploaded more and more videos to the Boxy Babe channel, she became more familiar to everyone, and the magic surrounding her mysteriousness began to dissipate. Viewers could also feel the authenticity falling out of every single video. In the beginning it was quirky because you could tell that she was genuinely just this overly excited girl in her late teens who was acting the way she was in order to avoid the awkwardness associated with sending a video to another stranger on the internet. But as time progressed, the character felt more and more forced, like she was simply trying to appease the audience. Boxy would post her final video to the Boxy Babe channel on the 10th of January 2014, leaving the 10 videos on there as an ode to internet history. Boxy would continue to upload videos on the A New Hope channel with various personal pieces of content, but they were never the same as those uploaded to the Boxy channel.
So I was kicking around some holiday video ideas.
The viewership dwindled as time progressed.
I feel like she kind of looks like she could be a teacher.
And on the 5th of June 2017, Katie, or Boxy, would upload her final ever YouTube video titled What It's Like to Be a YouTuber, explaining why she no longer had any interest in being a content creator. The video included points such as an excessive amount of hate.
They hate you, they hate everything about you.
The fact that there's no money in YouTube.
There's no money in YouTube? At least for me.
That YouTube wasn't some...
I mean, depends when she was really doing this. But to get money, you kind of gotta be like pretty up there and very active, I would say. I mean, there's some people that make money and they do like once a month like video, but like the once a month video is like a pretty big creation. So
something she even wanted to do anymore.
If YouTube was what I wanted to do, but it's not. It never was.
And finally, that she simply no longer had the time to make any videos.
I don't have time to do this thing that ultimately makes me miserable.
And this was kind of the end of Boxy's YouTube journey. She hasn't uploaded a single video since this one almost 4 years later. However, that wouldn't be the end for Boxy. In 2017, she landed a role voicing a character on The Disney Show. Additionally, Boxy's voice would be featured.
I mean, it depends what Disney show, but I mean, I feel like that's a pretty big step up.
Featured on a game titled Boxy Quest, which attempted to satirize various aspects of internet culture. More recently, and most interestingly, Katie Wayne aka Boxy would put up the original For Everyone from Boxy video up for sale as an NFT to her Twitter page. It was stated that the winner of the auction will get to take home a piece of internet history, and after 4 days of bidding, an individual by the name of Doe would successfully purchase the NFT for a price of $26,000 for $
26,000.
$125. Boxy's story as a whole is a reminder that even the most unassuming individuals can get caught up in the craziest scenarios, occasionally when it's completely out of their control. And as displayed in Boxy's final video, being given the burden of fame doesn't necessarily mean you'll be able to handle the negatives that come with it. Boxy stated that in the beginning, the fame was a negative, but by the end, it had given her everything she ever wanted. So what happened to Boxy? Well, seems like everything seemed to work out for her just fine.
Damn. Alright, I'm gonna look up here, see if I could find the original. Oh. Alright, I got it right here. So we'll pull it up.
Okay, hi. Okay. My name is Boxy. Most of you know me as, well, no, most of you know me as Boxy, I suppose. If you're watching this, you probably know me as Boxy. But, a lot of people don't know me as Moldy Lunchbox. And, so, yeah, that's my Gaia username on Gaia Online. And I told my Gaia Online friend, buddy, one second. I'm uncomfortable. I told my Gaia Online buddy friend, Admiral Awesome, that I would make a video just for him. So I'm doing it. Here it is. Addy, I love you. I love you. And, so.
Oh.
Let's
it's
see.
Breaking down. This ain't going so well.
And, so let's see. What about, oh, just so you know, Addie, because I know you're watching this, because you're such a conceited bastard. I don't normally talk like this. I'm normally, like, all over the place like I am right now, but it's a calmer voice most of the time, unless I'm, like, really hyped up, because then it's different even still from this. But let me try to get my calmer voice.
Wait, how? I don't know. I feel like that makeup's just some 2016 type of makeup. 14, okay. 14 years ago, that's like... Yo, Aiden. How long is 14 years ago? What year was it? It was like... That was like 2006, right? Like around there. Like 2005. Because you take the 3 away, then it... No, it's like actually 2009. So.
Yeah, I'm really like, it's fun. It's cool. There it is. But it's going away now because it's just so crazy. It is crazy. Okay, I love you. I love Addie because, like, he's really fun to talk to and stuff. And, like, I only met him, like, 2 days ago. And we're, like, married. And it is crazy.
Whoa. Made him 2 days ago and already married. That, I mean, I feel like that just screams, like, no social life out in the real world. Out in the real world. When you meet someone for 2 days and you're saying you guys are basically married, I feel like it's just kind of crazy.
Because we love each other so much. And, We are twinnies, like all over the place. It is crazy. His avatar is like a manhole, and I had a avatar a really long time ago. It was a slut avatar. And, right, and he made an avatar to match up my fresh grass skirt one, and it was so cute. It was so nice. I love Addie. And
little did she know, the person she's talking about is like, was 43 at the time she's making this.
I made a sign for him, and it was on my boob, my upper boob, and his heart. It made a red mark because I had to keep erasing it. It really sucked. And let's see here. He keeps donating to my quest. Thank you. I don't know how to thank him because I'm so poor. I've never had like 100K in my life, and because I'm a dumb guy and stuff. Let's see here.
I mean, if she's talking about real life, I mean, who has had 100K by the age of 16 unless you got daddy's money? Like, just saying.
I wear too much eyeliner, FYI, Addie, in case you couldn't tell already. But that's okay. I don't know what you look like. And yet here you are. You know what I sound like. You are a bastard. I'm gonna have to ask you for a picture. I'm probably a returning sign too. You're being very rude, you know. Very rude indeed. I don't appreciate it. My hair's shaking everywhere. I don't appreciate it.
No, it wasn't. Her hair was not moving at all.
I'm gonna have to ask you for a picture. I'm probably a returning sign too. You're being very rude, you know. Very rude indeed. I don't appreciate it. My hair's shaking everywhere.
Her hair is barely moving.
Appreciate it.
Like...
Now, you know, no one will find this funny except for a couple other people, I don't think. So that's okay. But, you know, yeah. So I love Addie. Addie Pants. And if I know you on Gaia, then, and you want me to make you a video, just say so, and I will, because I probably love you anyway, but Addie asked first, kind of. Yeah, Addie asked first, I guess. So, yeah, I love you. Bye, Addie.
Okay, that's that one. We'll see what the other one consists of.
Okay, so... Okay, hi, you guys.
Different shirt,
okay,
which
so...
means this wasn't made at the same time. Actually, I wonder how far apart it actually was made. Let's see here. Well, what's this one? So at least the same year. Pocky.
Okay, hi, you guys. Okay, so my name is Boxy, and I love a lot of people, and so I decided that I was going to make videos for people, and the first one was for my friend, Admiral Awesome, and now this one is for Ant. It's not his Gaia name, but he told me to call it Ant, so... It's gonna be on his profile, I'm sure. Well, maybe it won't be, so I'll feel awkward if it isn't. But, you know, anyways, I have been friends with him for a while, I guess. Not a very long time, but a long enough time. And I think he was the first guy that I ever met on Gaia in my account. And, what else can I say about this wonderful...
I mean, this one's kind of similar to, the other one. For the other
Okay,
person.
he's pretty interesting, I'd say, because he just is, and if you can't take my word on it, then you're dumb. Anyways, he has a girlfriend. Oh my god, I'm so excited for it. Because between you and me, he had the biggest crush on Pocky for like ever. They even like.
Wait, didn't she make a video of Pocky? Kind of feel like I gotta look at that one.
Had like a thing going for a little while, but it kind of ended, I guess, and I didn't know it ended, but it ended. And so now he has a girlfriend, and I'm so happy for them. It's like it makes it's so exciting. And oh my goodness, okay. And he has really interesting avatars. They're always wearing skirts and stuff. And yeah, oh, he goes on 4chan with the clan of like Ant and Waffle and Addy and Rico Suave, I think, I don't know, and Tiago Costa, I'm sure. And I don't really know Tiago Costa, so, you know, don't kill me, please.
I mean, she kind of just rambles on, like, I don't really see the point. What? What are you saying? Why? What are you calling on? Well, no, but like what browser? Just try Chrome. What? Bro, I got like a minute of the video left. I see how it is. I was gonna go to sleep anyways. Here soon. Alright, bye. Anyways, we're not gonna be playing with my friend tonight. We're gonna finish this really quick and then probably watch the Pocky one. And I think that'll be the end of the stream for today.
Tiago, if you, like, you know, want to, please don't, because I love you. You just don't know it yet. And, is that even how you say the name, Tiago? Like, Tiago Baba? Anyways, so, me and him don't really know each other that well. We should talk more, please, Aunt, because I love you, even though you don't really know it. But I bet you do now. And, so, he has a girlfriend. He also has a penis, which is why he has a girlfriend. And,
where did that come out of? Bro, what is this?
Here, he has an interesting YouTube account. That reminds me. Yeah, okay. His YouTube is so funny. I, like, laugh every time I watch his videos. They're hilarious. And so I'm gonna do something. 1 second, you guys. Okay. Give me a second. That's it. I love Anthony! Yeah, that's it. Okay. Bye, you guys. Thanks for watching this. And by the way, Aunt, I love you. You have to know that because I do. I totally love you so much. Okay. Bye, Aunt. Okay, hi, you guys.
Okay. And then, so those for Anne, but I mean, like, is there any, kind of want to know the other dude's YouTube channel. Doesn't look like it, but let's do this one. I think it's supposed to be Ant's
Okay,
girlfriend.
Hi. My
who
name
used
is
to be.
Foxy, and today it is Valentine's Day! Yay! And I just wanted to make a special video for my Valentine. And my Valentine this year is just the love of my life and the cream in my coffee and just someone that I have loved.
I broke it.
This year is just the love of my life and the cream in my coffee and just someone that I have loved since I was very small. Pocky. I bet I was misdirecting you just then. Yeah, but my Valentine this year is Pocky, and it's because we have known each other since we were like this big, and we have been best friends since since forever, and we were always best friends from the very second. Like, there was never a time where it was like we were just friends and then maybe better friends and then good friends and then best friends. No, it was like the second we met each other, it was like bam, best friends. and she even helped me pick out this shirt for Valentine's Day because I don't know how to dress myself. and so she helped me pick it out, and we went shopping together, and that's the greatest thing about having a best friend, is that no matter what, if you could be like, skydiving, or like, swimming, or just sitting around and talking and chit-chatting, no matter what, you will have the best time of your life, and that is what makes best friends so special. And I hope that everyone has the best friend that I do. And that is like, it's like they will never let you feel alone or unwanted, and it's just irreplaceable, that feeling, and it's just the greatest.
I thought Pocky. Well, okay, never mind. I'm not gonna
most
say
warmy,
that.
fuzziest feeling in the entire world, like and it's so great. When we hang out, and it's like joke, and it's like joke, and it's like it's like real laughter. But yeah,
That's a friendship. I mean, like, what else are you gonna call it?
because like we like call each other, and she's like, hey, how are you? And I'm like, hey, I'm fine, I love you. And she's like, I love you too, what's been going on? And I'm like, oh, nothing, I just got a new phone that kind of looks like the hang loose sign. and it's like, she teaches me lots of tricks about like how to do my hair and stuff, and like we draw all the time, and we're like such hardcore bosses at Mario Party. Like, there is no team like our team, and we will annihilate you. And if you want to be all like, well, I want to do Mario Party against you and Pocky, and we'll be all like, challenge accepted, because there is no one can beat us. We are amazing. And and it's like this unstoppable force of best friendly love, and that's why she's my Valentine this year and every year, because I love her so much, and I hope that there is never a day where I feel like I am without her.
I mean, it kind of just seems like she was just trying to enjoy what was going on, so.
Okay, hi guys. My name is Boxy, and today I am coming out of the stables. That's right. I love My Little Pony. Yeah, look, see, I even have a shirt. See? Yeah, so, I love My Little Pony, and, because I saw that it got popular on the internets, and, I thought that was a little bit, weird because it's a little girl show, and so I figured that, I could check it out, and I did, and so you guys, I have no regrets. I have no regrets, you guys. It's a really good show, and I think that everyone should watch it. So go watch it. I know. Yeah, so, yeah, and so now I know that we have some serious business to attend to. Pinkie Pie is best pony. There's nothing you can do about it. Nothing. Pinkie Pie is best pony.
They said you called me a minute ago. I thought you were gonna play it with the... No, you could play with her. You could... like I said, bro, I'm gonna be going to sleep here in a bit. Alright, good night. Man, I gotta be looking after him like he's a little kid. Goddamn.
Yeah, because she is sweet and nice and cute.
I thought it was everybody, you know. Let's see the newest one, see how forced it is.
Hi guys, so I miss MySpace. Badly. Like a lot. Yeah. So because I have a book face and everyone tells me that I should just use book face.
Right there.
Which like
don't mind the voice crack. But right there kinda seemed forced.
I miss MySpace.
Right there, it's like
Badly. Like a lot.
Kinda just seems forced.
So because I have a book face and everyone tells me that I should just use book face, which like I do, but you know, like I miss MySpace because it was fun and nice and fun and fun and fun and fun and fun and also fun. You could customize your profile, and that was really nice because it was like everyone's profile had its own little like flair, and yeah, I used to be so good at HTML, you guys, like so good. I was pro. I was a professional. I wasn't a professional. I was not pro at all, but I was better than I am now, and that's important. You know, I mean, like, that's worth something, right? Yeah, I don't know. There was this one, it's called, like, Ahrefs. It was a code of some sort, and I don't know what it did, but I remember that it exists, so, you know, good job. But, yeah, so... yeah, oh, and, like, it was cool that, like, you could, like, have your own, like, music that you picked to play.
I mean, it seems a little forced, but not that much. So, but, yeah, go, check out Sunny V2. And I think it was Anna Horror Stories or something like that. But was supposed to be true crime. I mean, it kind of ended up not really being true crime. But yeah. If you watched all the way through this, I know it was 2 hours. I was only planning an hour, but ended up an hour 45 minutes. But if you guys actually ended up watching this, thank you for watching. Now that I kind of got the streaming down on my computer, it's gonna be more video based, and hopefully by the end of this year I'll be getting a new computer, so I'll be able to stream and record heavy games like Minecraft and whatnot, because right now I'm running off of a laptop and whatnot. So yeah, so hopefully by the end of this year I'll be able to do that. But until then, streaming is a little bit more easier. I feel like you kind of just like hop on, find the idea of what you want to do, and do it. And eventually, hopefully, if I get a fan base, you guys could start giving me suggestions on what to watch and what you guys want to watch and whatnot. But yeah, if you made it this far, thanks for watching, and hopefully you didn't murder anybody as a child. So have fun.